the weaponization of empathy is a big problem, but you touched on earlier about the ideologues. An ideologue is someone who cannot separate what he believes from who he is. So if I can't separate what I believe from who I am, attack on the belief is tantamount to attack on self. So I will get a very limbic response to that. I would be very defensive when you attack my ideas or challenge them or even question them, because I can't defend them because they're not my own. It's just something that I've interwoven into my sense of self. So if I believe that the San Francisco Giants are the best team on the planet and I can't separate that thought from who I am, and you say, well, the Giants aren't very good this year, I'm going to feel personally attacked. And I say feel because it's a very defensive, evoking feeling of fear that I'm going to experience when you challenge the San Francisco Giants. Now, if our profession has been steeped in ideological belief through grad school, and they are, like, this is not even up for debate. And I'm not even talking about the gender stuff. I'm talking about social workers are better than MFTs are better than counselors are better than whatever, right? That is an introjected belief. We're talking about Jungian analytic psychology, right? An introject is an unquestioned belief or assumption about the way the world works. Students are absolutely introjected to believe that cognitive behavioral therapy is good, psychoanalysis is not good, right? Insurance has reinforced this by saying we're not paying for psychoanalysis. Well, how do you even know what I'm doing? You're not looking behind my wall when I'm in session. I could be doing psychoanalysis. I could be doing CBT. You don't know. I'm not documenting that. You're doing REBT or choice theory. But we're definitely absolutely taught ideological positions. Now, take that into other realms like affirming care or whatever. We come out, we churn out these ideologues who are taught what to think, not how to think. That's a problem. Now you get something like the Cass report that's published and says, hey, what you think is probably not true. The ideologue will bristle at that, become very defensive. Or, like you said, they just shrug. They go, no, I don't have to pay attention to that because it's not what I believe. And what I believe is true, and I'm just not interested in changing my mind, which is very paradoxically ironic for a profession that allegedly hangs its hat on lifelong learning and non-judgmentalism, because we're not doing either of those things. We're being very judgy, and we're being very rigid when we reject evidence that is overwhelmingly in opposition to what we've been taught. And, oh, by the way, the WPATH files essentially revealed that the whole thing was contrived anyway to make money for a very small set of people who are, well, let's just say they don't have the best interests of humanity in their minds. And then it gets adopted into law. And so if I'm a licensee and I point to the law and I say, well, it's in the law. Like, well, yeah, a lot of things were in the law historically and they weren't right. They were very not good, in fact. And that's why we had civil rights revolutions. So just because something has been embedded into law, like Nevada did in 2023, when we compelled insurance companies to pay for quote unquote gender affirming care for children, I don't know that I can hang my hat on making sure that that's the right thing to do. So what I try to do is push back and go, are you sure? Is this really what you believe? Or is this like something you should change your mind around? Is this the best thing? Now compare that to your ethics. And of course, as you know, a lot of these people just warp and twist ethics to match their ideological beliefs, which is the weaponization of empathy also. They go, well, what are our 5 ethical precepts? Fidelity, justice, non-maleficence, beneficence, and autonomy. And so I can make an argument that says that surgery for children to make their body parts match what their feelings are on the inside, their subjective feelings, we're going to permanently alter their exterior appearance, is harmful. It violates their autonomy. It is not beneficial, although maybe I could say it benefits them if I truly believe that they know what they're talking about, but they don't when they're 12, because we have, 90 years worth of developmental psychology and biology supporting that. It's not faithful. There is no fidelity to what they entered in to do. And I'm not sure that we're doing justice. Flip that around and I can make the same exact argument, but the opposite direction. It is beneficial. It would be harmful if I didn't do it. It is doing the right thing, i.e. justice for the child, because they need me to advocate for them. I absolutely respect their autonomy because they are expressing to me what their deepest desires are, and it is upholding the ethics. So who wins there when we have an ethical debate in 2 completely divergent directions? So this is how the narcissists in our industry and the sociopaths can get away with pushing the agendas and the ideologies that they have is because they can take the same exact 5 ethical precepts, warp them into a weaponization of empathy, and drive policy from it. And all they got to do is shout louder and cite very poor studies, very poorly done, cherry-picked research, but it's published, right? So as long as it's published, there's our standard, while those same publishing houses suppress publication of alternate viewpoints. So it's very, very sinister. It's very pernicious what's going on. And I think our job is just individually to keep having conversations where we go, oh, maybe, okay, but I'm not going to do it. And where I say is I'm not writing you a letter to go to the doctor to chop your kid's healthy body parts off because I'm not a medical professional, just the same as I wouldn't recommend a kidney transplant. I don't know. I'm not an endocrinologist. I don't know. My lane is right here, talk therapy. If you want talk therapy, I will provide talk therapy. And the fact that we have been dragged into this fight, I think is despicable, because it's a buck passing from the medical community onto the therapeutic community to say, hey, certify that this person's okay to have this surgery. Right, elbow in ribs. You better. And if you don't affirm, you're going to be a bigot, and we're going to charge you with something at your licensing board level.